allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, I'd like Brian to administer the oath to me.
Okay, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Mary Adamczyk,
I, Mary Adamczyk,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of District Clerk
of District Clerk
of the Sag Harbor Union Free School District.
of the Sag Harbor Union Free School District.
Congratulations.
At this time, I'd like to administer the oath to Jordana Sobey as a re-elected board member. I, Jordana Sobey,
I, Jordana Sobey,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United
and the
States
Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of
the duties of
board member
board member
of the Sag Harbor Union Free School District.
of the Sag Harbor Union Free School District.
Congratulations.
I would like to administer the oath to Ryan Winter, our new board member. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Ryan Winter,
I, Ryan Winter,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of board member
the duties of board member
of the Sag Harbor Union Free School District.
of the Sag Harbor Union Free School District.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
If we could go into, I'd like to get nominations for board president.
I'd like to nominate Brian DeSessa, president of the board.
I'll second.
Do I have another nomination for board president?
I just want to say, I think Brian, you've done an excellent job this year, especially running these meetings. I think you've done a great job making sure everybody's voice is heard, and also just making sure that, everyone's voice was heard equally. So great job, and I look forward to
Thank you.
you continuing in that role.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Okay, so there being no other nominations, would everyone please vote? May I have a motion? Alex,
That didn't, or move
a
again.
second?
Same.
I think
I
we already did the
seconded.
motion.
You already
Okay,
did.
Alex made the motion and Sandy
Just hold on.
seconded.
And I vote yes, I'm sorry.
Okay, so now that all.
Okay, I've opened up the online voting.
Come on. Hit all first. And then she'll pay that, now take your arrow and hit aye.
That's unanimous. Congratulations, Brian.
Thank you.
You were paid with.
Double?
Double your pay.
Yeah.
I'd like to administer the oath to you as board president.
Sure.
I, Brian DeSessa,
I, Brian
do
DeSessa,
solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I shall support
that I shall support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of Board President
the duties of Board President
of the Sag Harbor Union Free School District.
of the Sag Harbor Union Free School District. Thank you.
So at this time, I'm going to turn the board over to Brian.
At this time, item 4.2 on the agenda is nomination of board vice president. Is there a nomination for a person for vice president?
I would like to nominate Sandy Poole. I think she's done a great job unifying the board this year. I had a great time being your vice president over the last year. But I think Sandy, we all have our strengths, and I think there are two strengths that Sandy brings to the table this year. In particular, one is she has a commitment to unifying the board and also being incredibly transparent with the public. And so she really wants to help with communication and make sure that anybody that kind of approaches the board with questions, that their questions are answered. And also, I think this year is going to be really important with someone that has a lot of knowledge about our relationship with Nash Park. And so I think this year is a great year for Sandy to take on that role if she's willing.
I'll second it. And I just want to add that I served on the board many years prior to most of you, with Sandy, and she has institutional knowledge more than any other board member I've ever worked with. And she, for good or bad, has a memory where she remembers everything. It's very good for us as a board because she really can provide historical context, which is incredibly valuable.
I just want to say thank you to both of you guys because I feel like I have very big shoes to fill right now. So I want to thank you for your leadership role as you president, vice president, and I want to thank you for your time that you've dedicated and the kind words you just spoke from both of you. I'll do my best and work with Brian and continue to, who would have thought, be the person to unify the board. So thank you for those kind words very much.
And Brian, could I just add just briefly,
Yeah.
Sandy, you've been a great board member the past year, become a good friend, and I'm excited to have you as vice president. And also just wanted to acknowledge Jordana, who found an amazing job you did as vice president. Also, I know it was a little more than a year ago, but when the pandemic started, you were president and did a great job through that as well. And you have an incredible knowledge of the laws and the rules and how everything works, and I hope to continue to share that with the rest of us.
Sure thing.
Okay.
Absolutely. You guys need any help with anything?
No, it's been great working with you this year as president and vice president, and serving with you as when you were president before. So I think you bring a tremendous amount to the board, and you guys also all working together. Appreciate that a lot. Are there any other motions for any other names? Okay, seeing and hearing no one else, please open up voting there. Alex was an aye vote.
That's unanimous. Okay, Sandy. I, Sandy Cruel,
I, Sandy Cool,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and I will faithfully
and
discharge
I will faithfully discharge
the duties of Vice President
the duties of Vice President
of the Sag Harbor Union Free School District.
of the Sag Harbor Union Free School District.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Christine, yes, you go.
I realized.
Okay, yeah.
I warmed the seat.
Yeah, no. Sure.
Making the switch on to section 5 of tonight's agenda, which is the public input number 1. If there's anybody here in the library this evening, it's our first meeting back in almost a year plus. We'd invite you to address the board at this time, and if anybody is watching at home via Zoom, which we will continue throughout this year for participation, you can raise your hand in the chat room, and Mr. Fisher would unmute you, and then you'd have 3 minutes on either if you were in person or there. So is there anybody here for public input 1? Mr. Fisher?
No.
Seeing and hearing no one, we'll move on to section 6 of tonight's agenda, which is the superintendent's report, which we're going to carry over to our July 26th meeting at this time. We will go to section 7 of tonight's agenda, which is the administrator's report. Start with,
So I'll, yeah, is that okay? I'll go. Brittany Carriero, Pearson Middle High School. We closed out the end of the year on a high here. We were able to have a outdoor prom, a graduation that went really well with the local assemblymen to give our speeches. Our class of 2021, I feel like ended the year on a high with all that they could do under that circumstances. Right now, we're working on getting ready to open up school for next year. We're excited about that. And we're holding an algebra summer school for students that have been struggling. And that's what's going on in middle high school.
Good evening, everyone. If good things happening at the elementary school, of course, planning for the upcoming school year. And I know Dr. Mears, Ms. Reynoso, myself have been very pleased with the summer programs that are currently being offered. Last week on Tuesday the 5th, we welcomed a small class of students for what's known as the extended school year program. These are services provided to students as per their individualized educational plans, their IEPs, to provide instruction over the summer, hopefully prevent regression that often can happen for certain students. Then today, we started what we've dubbed the Summer Academy, and we actually we're welcoming 55 students into the Summer Academy, serving children entering grades 2 through entering grades 5. We have 4 classes. The focus will be math skills, math facts, as well as reading and writing. And of course, mixing in some fun, possibly some walking or even bus provided field trips that relate to some of the things that children are studying. So today got off to a great start, and we're looking forward to the next few weeks with the kids.
I was there this morning and everyone looked very excited. Yeah. Looked great. So thank you for that. 7.2 Athletic and Wellness Report.
Good evening, everybody. Eric Gramoff, Director of Athletics, Kindergarten Phys Ed teacher. Just tremendous year working in the brand new Learning Center. I can't wait for the public to see what that facility actually looks like. It's amazing. We just finished up celebrating the class of 2021, a very successful class in terms of athletics. We had our senior awards night underneath the tent with Miss Carrie Hour and her staff. Really, we put on a nice evening for our athletes in conjunction with the academic awards for the seniors. The class of 2021 won several championships, including many individual awards, which are listed on my 7 slides that I have up here tonight. I'm not going to read off everybody's name, but I do think that it needs to be part of the board presentation. There was many individual accomplishments that should be noted publicly, and there are so many that in the interest of time, I will not be able to read off every single one tonight. The theme of this year was, we're just happy to be playing, we're just happy to be participating. The student athletes, for the most part, weren't as concerned with winning championships as they were more concerned with just getting the opportunity to play. I thought the coaches kind of echoed the same sentiment. We we made the best of the situation, and I think we are really looking forward to turning the page towards next year. Today, this afternoon, with the help of Mr. Guinan and Jean, we sent out an athletics reminder. We're kind of viewing today as the first year of the athletic calendar. Within that reminder, we have a survey. I just sent it to the Board of Education members. If you didn't get it, I'm sorry. I'll forward it to you later this evening. We have a survey on there, which will be help guiding us for what I am anticipating to be a very large percentage of participants for the fall season. So that went out to all students grades 7 through 12 and their families. And we're just really looking forward to getting back to the way things were. And I think we're going to be able to do that. And I have my fingers crossed. And yeah, I'm really excited to move on. Superintendent Nichols wanted me just to give an update on the spring season because I've done the fall before. In the spring, our junior varsity softball team had a very successful season. Our varsity baseball team won the league championship. They won the Long Island Class C championship, and then we challenged a Class B team, which we did not come out victorious, but we put up a good fight. We had several players that got very high accolades, including Tucker Scavone, who was recognized as the player of the year for our league. So we had a very successful spring, and we're looking forward to starting the fall on August 23rd.
Great. Thank you very much, Mr. Bradwell. Any questions from board members for Mr. Bradwell? All right, great. Moving on to our agenda, the agenda for this evening for anyone viewing from home is set up as a consent agenda. So we'll be voting on these in blocks pursuant to the sections that they're under.
No, they're actually, it's all
All in one?
in one.
Okay.
But if you want to vote in blocks, I can do it manually.
We can do it all at once.
We can.
Yep.
Okay.
So we have, I'll read through the list of subjects that we're going to be addressing in our consent agenda this evening and ask for a motion. If there's any discussion on any of those items, board members can ask it at that point. So we'll be doing Board of Education actions and policies to adopt policies, all policies and administrative regulations from last year, rolling them over to this year. We'll appoint officers to the positions that were filled from last year to this year, many of them being rollovers, bonding of personnel, as indicated on the agenda, appointment of health and safety staff throughout the district, all action items that we need to continue the school running. Special education actions will be addressed and reappointed this evening, as well as all business items needed to continue the school running, getting ready for the fall, and personnel actions as necessary throughout the file as it is shown on the agenda. So is there a motion for items 8.1 through 15.6?
So moved. 15.16.
1.6, I read upside down. Yes, 15.16, I'm correct. Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I would just add that this is what we do every year. This is a very standard agenda. It looks long and people might be questioning why we're not having conversations, but this is kind of procedurally what we do every year so that we can keep the gas in the car and the car driving forward.
I just want to say that thank you to the teachers who have served our district who are now retiring on this also. Wish them good luck in their retirement. Mr. Nee and can't say his last name. Brigitte, he's getting tenure this evening, so thank you to him.
Great.
And- Yep. Great. Yeah. How do I say it?
Great.
Great. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Congratulations to him and then the retirements. To me and the custodians.
And Ms. Denny, I want to just add is really pioneered CPR courses in a school district, and it was required curriculum here for 2 grades when they go through. I think it was 7th and 11th, if I remember correctly. And all of my kids went through it. You know, I actually signed up for a night course and did it. And there's a history of saving lives. We've actually had graduates here who've saved lives because of that. And I've also have lobbied to change laws in Albany. So she's leaving a big footprint that is making our community healthier and safer. So I want to thank her that. And then also just thank the Rutashan Educational Trust. You know, with every summer, they make a big donation for us to have these art programs that are free to our students, and they're phenomenal. And they continue to do that good work. So we want to thank them for that as well.
Okay, please open up the voting. Mr. Creepy votes aye.
That's unanimous.
We are now on to public input number 2. If there is anyone here in the library this evening or watching via Zoom, now would be the time to come up and you just state your name, not your address. And you have 3 minutes to address the board.
Brian, do you want them to go to the podium so that they're on camera?
We do.
Okay.
Yep. And we just need your name when you get up there, and then you have 3 minutes.
Hi, everyone. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Heather Hartstein. You've heard me all year because my face. Now here I am. I'm really not horrible. I'm much nicer than me. So here's why I'm here. I'll try to keep it really short and sweet. Okay, I am here for a specific reason. I'm sure you won't be surprised, but I still just want to get it out there. Okay. I'm here to provide my opinion. As a family in the district, I have 5 kids, all of whom will be in district next year. And I also want to provide information to the community that I feel is important and that they might not have. I know that this board meeting is not going to address new COVID protocols. I know that Jeff's not here, but new protocols have come out. And on Thursday, a memo was sent to the schools indicating that masks were not going to be required by all. Then on Friday, that was from the New York State. This is just for the community so that people know, because not everybody knows what's going on and not everybody does their own research, but you should. So on Thursday, information came down where all children didn't need to be masked. This mattered to me because I have a child with Down syndrome who was having an issue with the mask and I was following this closely. Okay. His tolerance had waned wearing the mask. So I needed to follow up on this. It was an issue. Shane hasn't been to school yet for summer school. We're in the second week of summer school because this was an issue for Shane. So basically what happened on Friday was, so this came out on Thursday and we were excited. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. Then on Friday, the CDC did what has been happening all year, and they somewhat reversed what came out from the New York State Department of Health on Friday. And they said, basically, they didn't totally reverse it, but the verbiage, please look it up. I had it, but I left it over there. The verbiage basically is indicating recommendations, not mandates, recommendations. And I want our community to understand that the masking stuff has now shifted to recommendations district-wide. It's upside down and inside out. Everybody knows that. Every time we get one piece of information, a different piece of information is sent out. You guys are the poor ones left to cipher through all of it for our community. And I do read everything. And one of the things that I see when I read is make sure as boards that you're reflecting what your community wants. I see verbiage like include your community when you're making these decisions. I also see verbiage that the community doesn't get to see that I read like our board doesn't have to include the community. Our board does not have to include anybody in our community to make these decisions. Our board, who I have deep respect for, is allowed to make these decisions without any community input. Community, let's care about that. So I want everybody to please do their own research. I have 3 seconds. Go to the VAERS website.
You can have some more time.
Really? Are you sure?
You can finish up.
Okay.
Not too long.
No, not too long,
We're
not too
trying
long,
to
like
wrap,
60
but
seconds.
yeah.
Thank you, I appreciate it. For those people that don't know what VAERS is, VAERS, okay? VAERS is the nation's early warning system that monitors the safety of vaccines after they are authorized or licensed by the US Food and Drug Administration. Go to the website, okay, take a look at it. It is a sort of a benign website. It takes information from anybody, and and all the data is all public, right? So anybody can take a look at it. What I want to share with the community is please go out and do your own research about the COVID-19 vaccine. I have deep respect for everybody that wants to get a vaccine. Please also respect the people in the world that choose not to. And if you make a choice not to, let that choice be based on something real, right? Not hyperbolic things, but real information. And real information from the VAERS website, which nobody's going to look at because it's unbelievable amounts of data, is that children are dying in record numbers, 12 and up, as a result of the COVID-19 vaccine. I'm not proselytizing, I'm simply suggesting that the community take a look for themselves and get their own information, because the writing is possibly on the wall for schools in New York State for September, and you're all gonna be left making this crazy decision, and the community's gonna go nuts. Some people will be happy, some people will not be happy, and I want the community, I don't want you to be in that position, basically.
I do
Why
agree.
should you have to carry that?
We will be addressing that on the 26th, so that's gonna be part of our meeting. It will be advertised, people will have time to show up or
Love
send
it.
questions in.
I
We
wanted
need
to,
to organize tonight.
they
and
need to
then
organize
have that.
themselves,
So
right?
anybody watching or anyone you wanna convey that to, it will be addressed when Mr. Nichols is back and when we're all here on the 26th.
I did know that,
Okay.
but I just wanted to give the heads up so that people could prepare
Agreed.
for that meeting. And it's really important for you, for our schools, for everybody. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else for public input number 2?
Anyone in the chat box?
Mr. Fisher? I don't see anyone. At the end of public input number 2. Before I put a motion on the table to convene into executive session to discuss litigation and the employment of a particular person, so the public knows if that motion does carry, and the board goes into executive session. At the end of the executive session, the board will come out for the sole purpose of just closing the meeting. No actions will be taken at that time. With that said, is there a motion to convene into executive session to discuss litigation and the employment of a particular person?
So.
Is there a second? Any discussion? No. Terry, please open up the voting.
It's open.
Alex votes aye.
All right, I do have a question. The next meeting is also the annual goal setting meeting, or are we pushing that off?
We're going to push that off. We discuss the.
We're pushing it off to August.
Unanimous.
Everybody have a good evening and thank you.
Good to see people.